People are like, oh, I'm sitting in my car, my eyes hurt, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing, I had to go home and take my inhaler. Somebody described the building as they could taste the building.
Wow, from mold to asbestos, one Richmond Public Schools teacher is speaking out about the conditions she and other staff and students returned to yesterday. She's claiming years of neglect that have put staff and students at risk.
8 News reporter Sarah Molina has been digging through records and photos. She joins us live in studio with this Taking Action investigation. Sarah.
Eric, Heather, good evening. Earlier tonight, I told you about this photo, what appears to be black mold on the library wall at Red Elementary. It was taken by math coach Susan Hudgens yesterday, the same day that students returned to school. And she says this isn't the first time something like this has happened. I'm actually holding years worth of emails between Hudgens and RPS leaders where Hudgens raises concerns of mold, asbestos, and more. Part of what she calls, quote, years of neglect on behalf of the school district.
It was shocking to me. I've never seen so much mold in my entire life.
Red Elementary math coach Susan Hudgens took these photos inside the school's auditorium last month.
This building is falling apart.
Just about a month before she and 4 other teachers had to report to the building for preparation ahead of the new school year.
I said, at the culmination of this, I would like a air quality report to say that is it's safe to be in, that the mold levels are okay.
Despite multiple emails to RPS Superintendent Jason Cameras in July and August, Hudgens says she wasn't given that report until Friday, August 15th, the day after it was released and 4 days after some teachers had already been in the building.
People are like, oh, I'm sitting in my car, my eyes hurt, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing, I had to go home and take my inhaler. Somebody described the building as they could taste the building.
But Cameras is quick to point out that this year's recent report says the school is mostly safe.
The air quality at Red is safe for occupancy. We wouldn't have teachers or kids in there if it wasn't. Of course not. The one area that still has some issues is the auditorium. I was over there today. It's completely closed off, sealed off, and it's being remediated.
I spoke to Cameras about some of the concerns. He says while the building is safe to occupy, according to the report released this month, he does admit that the facilities department has been short-staffed for a few years now.
My part at school was the teacher, and now I'm the coach. I didn't think I needed to be the maintenance person and the federal guideline person.
But Hudgens says it's a role she's taken on over the past few years, as this wasn't the first instance of, quote, negligence to the building or a lack of transparency. This air quality report, released in February of 2024, detailed asbestos found throughout the school and an action plan. Though the public is supposed to be annually informed of risks, Hudgens claims this report would not have happened if she had not pushed for it, pointing out that the most recent one before that dates back 15 years.
They have in writing that they have the big gap. The most recent reinspection report prepared by ECS in 2009. You haven't checked it for 15 years?
Now, we should mention that periodic asbestos testing and documentation at Red Elementary resumed in 2024 after Hudgens pushed for transparency. I'll be doing a deep dive into the 15-year gap when it appears no inspections were being done, taking action to find out why they fell through the cracks and what risks students and staff could have been in because of it. Live in studio tonight, I'm Sarah Molina, E! News.
New tonight, parents in Dundee are not happy after mold was found in their kids' school building, and they just found out about it right before school was supposed to start. Today, the district sent a letter home to parents telling them the first day of school is delayed. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
And I'm Terrence Friday. Parents are now questioning why the district waited right before school started to inform them about this issue. We have team coverage for you tonight, getting answers on how this happened and how the summer weather likely made it worse. Let's start with CBS News Detroit's Terrell Bailey, who spoke with parents who are getting that letter just hours before they were supposed to have an open house, Terrell.
Yeah, so multiple parents, guys, told me they rearranged their schedules to be at that open house today, only to find out this afternoon it was canceled. School was set to start this coming Monday, but now it will be on Tuesday.
Mold can affect autoimmune disorder, and my daughter has an autoimmune disorder, so she could easily go into a flare-up.
Wednesday, parents were notified that mold is an issue at Dundee Elementary and middle schools. The district says the humid weather and their ventilation systems may be to blame.
I don't want to expose any children or the teachers or any of the educators to this potential issue. So as disappointed as I was, we certainly understand it.
Mandy Westlow's child attends the elementary school. She's also a healthcare professional, which is why she wants the district to take as many precautions as needed.
As long as the kids are able to be safe, whether it's in a week or it's in 2 weeks or it's in 3 weeks, I think we just work together as a team and make sure that they're able to do that and still be educated.
The district says their teams cleaned the areas when the mold first appeared. Since then, it's returned. Right now, they're waiting for results to determine if it's black mold.
And if they've already cleaned the mold once and came back, wouldn't you notify us when that first mold happened to show up?
Now, back in June, the school board voted to allocate over $8,000 to fix a classroom floor at the elementary school. The repair was needed because of water damage from years prior.
Have we pulled it up at all? No. Is there any mold concerns or anything, or is that all part of the bid in replacing it?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about mold at all.
I spoke to another concerned mother. Her child goes to the elementary school. She wanted to remain anonymous. She ended up taking her daughter to the doctor, and they asked, could mold possibly be in the family's home? She went on to tell me, quote, my daughter was chronically sick all last school year, but has been symptom-free since being home this summer. I might have to find alternative schooling for her this fall because I do not feel safe at this point sending her back.
I would want to know, besides the testing itself, how can he guarantee that when the students come back that they are safe?
The school district says once the humidity levels drop below 50%, the mold will then stop growing. Then they can begin to re-clean the classrooms and all of the affected areas.
Is this going to take away from their snow days so they'll have to go at the end of the year longer?
So I contacted the school district to hopefully speak with that superintendent. My request was denied, but in a letter to parents, he said they will not begin the school year until test results confirm that all classrooms are safe. Guys.
All right, we'll see what happens in a few days. Thank you, Terrell. And as he mentioned, the district is at least in part blaming the weather for the mold.
Yeah, let's bring in next weather chief meteorologist Ahmed Badji with answers about how the weather could have affected this.
Yeah, this is something right within our wheelhouse when it comes down to it. Temperature, humidity, dew points, all of that goes hand in hand. But I wanted to make sure I talked to some experts about it, of course, checking with some mold people that really, they get it all done in Farmington Hills. So mold spores, they can lay dormant for a long time. Here's the info that we were able to get. Mold itself needs organic material to thrive. Things like dust, skin that's left behind. That's all you need to keep it going. Now, spores are stubborn, though. They will last for a long time. Small changes in the air, that can initiate new growth. Here's the other part of this, though. Spores, they settle, they sprout. A colony begins to grow, but this is the key. It can spread over a large area, and you still can't see it. It is invisible at this stage. Now, the growth time varies depending on the mold and other factors. For example, mold is visible at stage 3, which is called colonization. The size and the number can be large, and the growth rate depends on temperature and moisture, but more than anything else, it depends on the moisture. That's the main thing here. Moisture is everything. For example, at 60 degrees and a relative humidity of 78%, it takes about 22 days to make a colony. But if it was 70 degrees, 10 degrees warmer, that's a warm day, and yet the humidity was just barely lower, it still takes longer because the moisture content is lower. Now, at higher temperatures, like 90 degrees that we saw this summer, that makes a big difference. Those extremes really can help to give it a boost.
All right. Well, long story short, we're hoping they can clear that out, and we'll have to stand by for an update by Monday. Thanks, Ahmed.
Maybe you've spent the better part of this week ripping out basement carpeting, tossing damaged couches, maybe even cutting away some drywall. Well, guess what? You might not be done with your cleanup efforts. Stephanie Quirk is live in Milwaukee tonight with a warning from the health department about mold. And Steph, you were in some basements today where mold has already formed.
Yeah, Ted, I was, and at this point we still don't know the number of how many people were impacted by these floods, but what I do know is that the number of challenges for the people who were just keep piling up. If you walk down 44th Street just north of Hampton, you'll see debris upon debris piling up on sidewalks outside homes. But inside those homes...
So you smell that, right?
That's where you'll be hit with the real aftermath of these historic floods.
This is the damage that we had gotten because the water was up to the ceiling, of course.
Like many of his neighbors since the floods, Jeffrey Carroll has just been focused on cleanup.
There was so much water coming in. We don't know where the water came from.
But in the Carroll's basement, something is growing, and that something, health officials say, can be just as dangerous as the floodwater itself.
So the most common thing we're going to see is mold, and that's going to be a big problem as we're moving forward.
County health experts say mold develops quickly in damp homes and can cause major health risks, especially to people who already have weakened immune systems.
The problem is that mold continues to grow. And so over the coming weeks, it starts exacerbating conditions.
Some tips include limiting time indoors and protecting yourself while cleaning.
You're wearing heavy gloves, waterproof boots, a mask if you're indoors when handling those debris.
As for Carroll,
I'm very concerned about the health because of my family here, but also, I'm concerned about everything getting back to where it was.
He says it's simple. His neighbors need help, and they need it now.
The health is the main issue, but I don't know when nobody's coming out to help us out.
Some other tips to avoid mold exposure is to make sure there's ventilation in the house, as well as avoiding direct contact when you're cleaning. As for the Carrolls, they created a GoFundMe to help with cleanup and recovery efforts. We have that linked in this article on our website, fox6now.com. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Stephanie Quirk, Fox 6 News.
I think the question that a lot of us who have had damp basements this past week is, how do we know exactly if there's mold? You can't always see it.
Yeah, Ted, that's a really good question. The biggest thing would be that persistent musty odor that you smell. That's one way that you can tell there may be potential mold growing in the basement, as well as just if you have any health issues, if those persist on the line, like asthma and things like that, or if you see green, yellow, or brown spots growing in any of those damp areas. Those are the biggest warning signs.
And that's when you need to call in the experts. All right, Stephanie Quirk reporting live for us tonight. Thank you.